One of my favorite pieces of advice that I've gotten from mentors, peer mentors, was leave the red tape behind. Don't ever let fear stop you from doing what you want to do. I had always wanted to be an editor-in-chief of a publication, and I think everything that I've done throughout my career has set me up skill-wise, passion-wise for this role. I'm Simone Oliver, Global Editor-in-Chief of Refinery29. Welcome to the offices of Refinery29 here in Brooklyn, New York. I'm going to take you through a little bit of my day-to-day, talk about my career journey, and hopefully give you some practical advice. Come on, let's go. When I had been at the New York Times, I said my 5-year goal is to run a .com, right? Like a fashion, beauty, lifestyle-oriented .com. And Refinery was a brand that I had loved from the very beginning. I've always felt like it spoke to me. So when I got the call, obviously I'm going to take the call. My anxiety, though, really lied in the fact that the media industry could be hard. Like, it's straight up hard, but it's also wildly exciting. I've gotten a lot of advice in my career, and I think when I'm looking at a potential employee, one of the biggest things that I look for is, do you ask questions? Even if they might be uncomfortable questions, but are you a thoughtful person, right? And are you thinking things through? Are you a critical thinker? And a lot of times, the type of questions that you ask, it reveals a lot. What I've noticed is that a lot of young employees in general, they tend to have a lot of anxiety around cold calling people, reaching out, emailing, hitting people up on LinkedIn. And I usually just tell them, like, just do it. But when you do it, don't just do it and say, hey, I really admire you. Can we talk one day? Be specific in your intention. If you are lucky enough to get time with that person, come to that call with 3 things, right? 3 questions you want to ask them, or 3 things that you're maybe having trouble working through. And that'll be a very productive call. Cultivating relationships is wildly important. It's really important that you keep following up, right? You keep in touch. And we always say, keep in touch, right? But what does that really mean? That means reach out to them when maybe you saw somewhere that they got a new job or they did an interesting project and maybe they shared it, right? It means when you've done something interesting in your job and maybe you're proud of it and just saying, hey, happy Valentine's Day. I just wanted to tell you I worked on this really cool photo shoot and I wanted to share my work. Hope all is well. For some people, it may feel kind of braggy or it might feel a little uncomfortable or even purposeless, but that keeping in touch, it lets that person know that A, you're in touch and you're not just coming to them when you need something. It also keeps them abreast of what you're working on. One of the moments that probably had the biggest impact on my career was when I pushed for creating the first New York Times Instagram. At the time, the paper was very against creating an Instagram account because they didn't really feel like there was value in a platform that didn't allow users to link back to the New York Times, right? And their main goal was to get subscribers, right? Makes sense. So I'd asked permission and was told no several times, but I felt like if we're going to be talking to the next generation, it's really important that we be where that generation is. And so I started. I got a very nasty note from our social editor at the time, which I ended up saving forever. I still have that email. It was a little bit scary, right? Because I didn't want to go on record as losing my job for starting an Instagram account, right? But then on the other hand, that's been something that is very much a part of my story and very much a part of the paper's, digital journey as a whole. You can't let fear stop you from what you want to do. That's the one thing my dad told me when I was younger. But honestly, getting a chance and this opportunity to work at Refinery and help evolve a brand that you've loved for so long and lead a team of amazing people, you can't sleep on that. So I took the job. So now that you know a little bit about my journey, let's go to my office. So what I love about Refinery29 is it is truly a safe space where people can come and just be themselves. We're the brand that doesn't care if they get invited to the party because we're having our own party. As the global editor-in-chief of Refinery29, it's my job to lead the vision on how R29 shows up in the world. So every day, my responsibilities change. Every day is different. When I wake up, all of London is already messaging me, so I'm communicating with them, responding to emails, and I'm looking at what's on fire, what's simmering, what's everywhere in between. On an average day, I get about anywhere from 1,000 to 1,400 emails a day. So I have to go through scan, and make sure that I'm attacking what's most important. You have to be a ruthless prioritizer. You have to make a list. To be honest, on most days, I don't get everything done. I take everything that was on my list of what was to get done today, and I move that to tomorrow. And then I know that tomorrow, I'm gonna try to tackle it. I'm gonna try to do the best that I can, but being okay with the fact that not everything is going to get done. I think my favorite part of the job is doing a lot of steering, right? Like I set the vision for the brand, but I also need to make sure that all of what we do across our entire team globally is in line with that vision. And that requires a lot of communication. And probably one of the most important parts of my job is managing people. It takes a lot of people to put together the content that we put together, and they put their hearts into it, but they're also people, and they have lives, they have families, they have pets, they have plants, and they have real things going on in their lives. And they're also amazing and have ideas that they often need mentors. They're trying to navigate their lives and careers. And I'm no oracle, but I do take management really seriously. One of my favorite pieces of advice that I've gotten from mentors, peer mentors, was leave the red tape behind. When I first started the New York Times Fashion Instagram account, that was a moment where I had a choice, and I could have not done it, but I asked for forgiveness after the fact. And so it's not something that applies to every situation, of course, but leave the red tape behind is something that sticks with me in everything that I do. Take risks, calculated risks. And with that, thanks. And remember, stay in touch.